Yo, 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 what's going on YouTube? It is your boy, Kamikaze, or Yaze, or Yazi, whatever. Anyways, making a new YouTube video today. Um, have not posted in the past 3 days, and completely my fault. Just been having self-doubt and anxiety about what am I even gonna post, right? You know, I shouldn't even be feeling this way because I'm just posting into the void at this point. No one really is watching the YouTube videos, but that's okay. Um, yeah, I don't know. I've just been having a lot of inaction on top of just a lot of work going on in my personal life too, work-wise and personal. And it's definitely been affecting my uploads and getting stuff out. But I'm gonna again try and hold myself accountable and be consistent and try and get one out every single day, even if they're just a minute or two long. But anyways, I wanted to talk about what is going on in the world right now. So I'm from the United States of America. I live in Las Vegas, Nevada, and shit is not not horrible, right? We're not like the world is ending, but it is bad. Um, our city is really good indicator at showing how well household income is doing, what they're willing to spend, as well as tourism and the overall kind of ability for people to come into our state, our city, spend money and have a good time. And currently our tourism is down 7.5% from last year. It's the lowest drop since '09. And you can feel it for sure. Don't get me wrong, there's still tons of people here in the city. It's always busy, but it's not as busy as a lot of people will either make it out to be, and it's also not as dead as a lot of people make it out to be either. There is, I'd say the truth lies in the middle. Um, on the strip, I mean, it is definitely not bussin' how it used to be, especially over the past couple years. I mean, it's not like it's dead like COVID where there's literally no one out there, but there's significantly less people. The small businesses are struggling way harder now. People can't spend money. They just don't have money. Most of the people that you see out on the strip and in the hotels and stuff are rich people, people who are like, they're not even concerned. To them, the economy is doing great. Their stocks and portfolio and everything is at all-time high, so they're having a good time. But that's not the average American. The average American is paycheck to paycheck and has very little assets. And by assets, I mean a house, stocks, crypto, gold, silver, whatever it might be. But we're not doing too good. And right now this economy is fake. I don't care how people try and spin it and explain it. I've been in investing and paying attention to the stock market since I was 16 years old, and actually started investing at 18 when I can actually have my own brokerage account. And I've obviously haven't had the full experience as someone more seasoned and veteran, but I've studied history and I've studied statistics. I've looked at past data points and everything that's happened in the past. And everything points to this being a complete fluke and what should normally be a complete market-wide crash. And where's the truth? I don't think we'll ever know the truth until like how we did in '08, where all of a sudden we know, all these years later really why it crashed. Like we knew, oh, the banks failed and they gave out all these loans, but like we really didn't know the extent of it until way after. Like uh, for the regular person, especially back then, like I was a kid, but I remember my parents talking about it, and I I grew up in a time where the internet was not a heavy prevalent thing, right? Like '08, the only thing you were doing there was maybe a forum post and going to youtube.com. Like that was early YouTube. Holy shit. I'm old. Um and studying all that and looking back and reading other smarter people than me and economists and all that, like this is a fake economy. We are being propped up and held by billionaires and the corporations. And you might be like, well, yeah, no shit, duh. Isn't that kind of how it's always been? But it's not. When you actually do the numbers, these billionaires and corporations have essentially destroyed the middle class. They control 40% of the total wealth of this country. That is higher than the 8% that Carnegie, Rockefeller, JP Morgan Chase, all the robber barons from back in the early days, they had at most 8%. Today, that same ruling class has 40%. That has a huge pull over the economy. They're able to keep the market up and look great. Why? Because they're not selling at mass amounts right now. And when they start selling, because once they have their debts that are to be called, and once they actually need cash for something, shit will start crashing. Because all of them are going to need to start selling at one point. I'm just look at the AI shit with OpenAI and Nvidia and Oracle and all that. They're round tripping. They're literally just giving each other billions of dollars, creating headlines, trying to create artificial hype so they can get more investors to come in and give them that real money so they can cash out before the crash so they're not left with the bill. And of course, the average investor or American that tries to get into it will get fucked. There's just no way. Like, I mean, again, I'm speaking of this like it's complete fact. This is my opinion. This is my. I'm not a economic professional, but from my professional opinion, based off everything that I've done, invested in, looked at history-wise, and what I've heard from other sources smarter than me, this is all going to come crashing down. It's it should have happened during COVID. The reason it didn't happen during COVID was because, oh, it was COVID, the whole country shut down, the whole economy's at a standstill. We're going to have to print money, we're going to have to give people free money. And like some companies still were able to do business, right? And people got money. They had money saved up, so they spent what they could during that time. They propped up the economy. The digital influencer economy 10x'd overnight. Think about it. I mean, prior to COVID, the internet still was like, oh, yeah, crazy shit goes on there, but like, get off the internet. You don't need it. Now, at this point in 2026, you need the internet for fucking everything. It's ridiculous. And we're in a complete different time period now. I mean, like, we talk about how, man, COVID was 6 years ago. 6 years ago. And we live in a completely different world now. Completely different. I have a theory. Perhaps it's written somewhere, and this is a known theory, but I have a theory that the whole world changes every 8 years, 7 to 8 years. Now, most people might just be like, well, yeah, a whole presidential term ends and new policy happens, but like things are set in stone and in motion, or sorry, not set in stone, set in motion before we even get to that election point. It's so very clear that this is how our government and politicians and our economy work, right? It, we're just going to crazy unknown times. I don't know. I don't know. I'm rambling at this point. My advice, especially if you made it this far in, is to save your money and be very cautious about where you put your money, who you trust your money with, where you invest it, and what you do with that money. Our dollar has lost the most amount of its value since like the 80s, maybe even the 90s. The last time we had a very, very bad crash, besides '08. I mean, we're even before the dot-com bubble, our dollar didn't lose much value. Our dollar is severely weak right now, weaker than it's been in decades. I would just be very careful. You need to be very aware of what's going on. There's just so much going on. There's so much misinformation. And even this information I'm giving you, like, don't take it as gospel. Put in the comments if I'm wrong or you disagree or that there's other data points to look at. I am Yeah, sorry, my mic fucking died. Don't take my word as gospel. If you disagree, if you have other data to put out there and you have different points of view, put it out. Put it down in the comments. I'm always okay being challenged. This is the way that I see it. It's the way that is inevitable at this point. And it's going to be even a worse crash than '08 and the .com because we've been kicking the can for so long. It's just got to come down. Anyways, that's enough of me rambling and whatnot about what's going on and whatnot. This is all over the place. Again, apologies. If you made it this way through, all the way, you're the GOAT. I really appreciate you. Feel free to drop a comment if you'd like to discuss anything, talk one on one. Feel free to drop a comment below. And yeah, we'll go from there. Yeah, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for watching and see you later.